welcome to lesson number 4. I know last lesson you had a ton of songs to work on, so hopefully that all went well and you've got them all passed off. This lesson we have a pretty good amount as well, so just be ready and you can do it, and here we go. Alright, so actually for today's theory book, we're on page 6 and 7 today. I'm going to talk you through it because this is something that we haven't really discussed too much before. So harmony rules. So in music you have a melody, which is like the singing part, right? If you had words to something, it'd be what you're singing. And then a harmony is a part that goes along with it that makes it sound nice, okay? Other notes that add fullness, but that sound good together. So in music, you know that some things sound good together, and the way that you add them, okay, can either sound bad or good, okay, or sound not quite there, a little dissonant. So with different notes, you want to do different chords on the bottom to add harmony. So if you have notes that are a degree of 1, 3, or 5, meaning in my scale, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I'm using any of these notes in my melody, I'm going to want to use a first chord in my harmony, okay? The next one says, if I have any notes that are my 1, 4, or 6th degree, then I'm going to be using that as my harmony, okay? This is making sense, right? So, and then if I have anything that's 2, 4, or 5, okay, and I'm even going to add a 7 in there, okay, 2, 4, 5, 7, then you're going to use a 5, 7 chord in your bass. So, you're going to look here at this song, Yellowbird, C scale, okay, and you're going to look here and you're going to say, okay, which chord would I use with these notes? So, sometimes you can decide what sounds best in your ear, and a couple might sound good, but starting off, you're going to use the first chord. Dun, 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 dun. Then what would sound good with the D? Okay, if you look up here, our D would be the 2nd degree in our C scale, so we're going to use the 5, 7 chord. Okay, E, you can go back to the 1st. F, you can choose. F is either a 4th chord or a 5, 7 chord, okay? G is going to be either a 1st or a 5th, so you have to decide what sounds good, okay? An A is going to be your 6th, so you're going to use the 4th. B is going to be, what do you think? B is going to be your 7th, 5, 7th chord, okay? And then C is going to be, again, your 1st chord. So you're going to write those in and then you're going to play it. So I'm going to give you an example. So here's my first. Dun, 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 dun. And then back to the first. Here I can choose. I can either do this, but I think this sounds better. And then you're going to go ahead and transpose it into the G major scale. Then same thing down here. You're going to go through and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to decide which chords should go with which whatever melody line, sorry. And the same thing applies. A G in a G scale is a 1st, so you can really decide whatever with that one, a 1st or a 4th. Generally speaking, you start with the 1st at the beginning of a song, okay, and then as you're working down, you're going to do the same thing as you did above. So I'm going to give you an example of this, of what sounds good. So over here, okay, bum, 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 or you could go, actually I think that, dun, dun, dun. Watching 4th, 1st, 7th, 1st. Okay, does that make sense? All right. We're gonna do just a little activity here that you can do on your own. So maybe stop the video and do it really quick. But you're adding in the measure lines. So 2/4 timing, we count 1 and 2 and measure line, 1 and 2 and measure line. This is tricky. 1 and 2 and measure line, 1 and 2 and. Okay, and you're gonna write in underneath the counts as well. Okay, 1 and this is 4 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, and then the last one is 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and is your rest, 3 and. Okay, then last thing, I'm gonna do this with you. What's that chord? So I'm gonna play a chord and you're gonna circle which one it is. So looking at A, am I playing a 1st, a 4th, or a 5/7? You ready? Oh, actually it says listen and circle the last chord that you hear, the last chord. Okay, so. Okay, what was that last chord in that one? It was a 5/7. So B, here we go. Okay, that is a 4th. C, what's the last one that you hear? Okay, that's gonna be a 1st. And D, what's the last one that you hear? Okay, that last chord was a 5/7. All right, done with theory. Moving on to technique. So our technique book today, we're working on page 3 and 10. So that sounds a little weird, but we are going to review what's on page 3 really quick, and then lead into page 10. So this first part is a rocking exercise. So this is actually something that we've been working on with our Alberti bass. Sorry, that was all chaotic. So it's rocking back and forth. With your right hand, pretend you are turning a key in a lock. This back and forth rotation, rocking motion is called rotation. So as you're doing your hand like this, you're rocking back and forth to hit these. Okay, so you're just gonna practice that first a little bit. 1 and 2 and 3 and rocking. You're gonna rock back and forth and play it says 3 times. And then you're going to do your left hand, rocking back and forth, and do it 3 times. Okay, and then at the bottom, you're going to exercise with the pedal. So if you remember doing the pedal, I'm going to show you my feet. Okay, it's like my green socks. All right, so as I play, I'm going to play it, and then I'm going to press it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, rest. So as I play my chord, my foot comes up. So up, down, up, down. 1, 2, 3, up, down. Does that make sense? Okay, now that first one we're doing 1, 2, 3. This one we're going to go a little bit faster. 1 and 2, 3. So I'm going to lift up a little quicker. So I'm going to go 1 and 2, 3, up and 2, 3. So just really fast. So it's a up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, up, down, up, down. So as you're pedaling, you're really pedaling quick. Now, if your legs aren't long enough, you're going to have to just go like this. But if your legs are long enough, you can put your heel flat on the floor and you're just using your toes there to pedal. Okay? All right, so then let's turn to page 10. We're working with that rotation again. So it's got a little bit different timing though, so you're gonna have to watch your timing. So this first one, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4, and then it says transpose to F major. Okay. Okay. And then your left hand, it's kind of the same timing. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you're gonna move down and do it in the F, key of F as well, okay? All right, then, sorry, you're gonna just play these examples, okay? So these are examples of just the rocking motion. And we'll just go through these one at a time. So here's the first one, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, and then the next ones are just our left hand. So, oh, sorry, you're supposed to give an example of what these are. So circle what that was. What was that? That was rotation, right? Da 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 da. Okay, this next one, is it round off, rotation, or relaxed wrist for chords? Okay. So here we go. Bum, bum. Okay, that's relaxed wrist for chords. Play this next one. Okay, that's rotation. And da, 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 da. Okay, this is supposed to be an example of a round off because you're coming through this slur and up. A little louder at the beginning, a little softer at the end. Okay, all right, that is it for our technique book. We're gonna move on into our lesson book, page 14 and 15. We actually get to play Yellow Bird. So this is a fun little piece. The timing is crucial. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? So looking at that, we also have some sharps, okay? So you're here on D and B, and then you're just gonna go down to the black keys just below, the C sharp and the A sharp, okay? You have chords over here that they want you to write in what they are. So the first, so here's a fourth, first, 5, 7, first, okay? So go ahead and write those through, and then up an octave at the end. So let me give you an example of this song. This is a cute one. The first part, we're gonna repeat that first measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and lift up. And it ends on that kind of dissonant note, but it sounds pretty good actually. Okay, so go ahead and get that one worked up and ready to go. So as for the performance book today, because I don't have the right book, I have the first edition, I don't have the song for today's performance. So if I can get that book soon, I'll do that, but I have most of the other songs, so we'll see if I end up getting the book. But you are working on page 4 and 5, so just do your best with that today. This is kind of, you're on your own. So at the end of today's lesson, you're going to be opening your Hanon book up to number 4, and go ahead and try that on your own and do your best. Again, it's a finger exercise, so keep your fingers strong, play on your fingertips, keep good form. It helps if you set a metronome sometimes so that you've really got an even beat. Okay, so keep that beat very even and steady. And then as you get better at it, you can go a little bit faster than what you've been playing. So I wish I could show you it, but alas, it's not going to happen. So don't get in trouble, and good luck with it. Have a great week.